On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
The best thing to give men incentive is to actually start getting women starting to realize that men are not your enemy. You need that, and getting women in the middle, and the bulk, the majority of women, to start realizing that nothing out here is more important than your charge on this life. Like Courtney was saying, a lot of our sisters even have a hard time saying a woman's goal on this planet is to be a mother. We go to the well, what if a woman can't? That's the infinitesimally small percentage. But that's where we're willing to go to not hold women accountable.
All right, you guys, before the next person chimes in, I want to welcome Kevin Samuels to the show.
Hey, how you doing? Good. I'm always fascinated when this part of the conversation comes up, because for 1990, when Shahrazad Ali dropped that book, we've been having these conversations with Black college women. And I remember sitting back in the Black People's Union. It was called the BPU. This is before we got politically correct. And I'm sitting there with Deltas, aka Zeta, Sigma, Gamma, Rhos, goddamn independents. Men on one side, women on the other, air conditioning not working, hot, back and forth debate. And all these women up here talking about modern woman this, and I shouldn't have to do this and do that, and all these grand notions about how to be, what they should and should not have to do. And I stood up and asked one question. How many of you ladies would like to have children? And almost 100% of the women raised their hands, from the women who were in humanities to the women who were going to law school. And I said, I understand you don't feel like you should have to cook for no man, but if you're going to be a mother, who's going to cook for your kids? Cricket ass quiet. Black women have been so taken by this womanist, feminist movement that they've turned you against your own nature, to where these same white women that were womanist, feminists, right? If you go look at Miss America, Phyllis Schlafly versus Betty Friedan, at the 1960s, when the National Organization, Gloria Allred, and all that shit first came out, these women were on the same side. They were all married. Even the most diehard feminists coming to the meetings, married women. Black women, the first Black woman to ever run for president. Go watch the movie on Netflix. Black women are the ones they got standing out in front like crash test dummies with your education in front of your family. So my question has always been this: why can white women, Hispanic women, Middle Eastern women, Asian women all seem to go to get a 2-year, 4-year, 8-year degree and still somehow come out and still be able to find a husband? But Black women can't seem to walk and chew gum at the same time. It's because just what your sister Shahrazad Ali said, white women, non-Black women go to college to find a husband. Black women go to college to prove they don't need one. And that's what I'm hearing in this conversation. I would not ever stand in a woman's place or tell a woman her choices. And that's bullshit. Because this wage gap we're talking about, you at the bottom. You're at the bottom in your funky ass degree, and what you making ain't gonna do shit unless you are science, engineering, technology, and math, and gonna be making at least $90,000 or more to cover up 2 salaries. Your degree ain't gonna do nothing. I have talked to more women in marriages and in relationships who have drug in 40, 60, this last couple, $120,000 in student loan mother flipping debt, and still can't seem to figure out that this college stuff, this career stuff has been marketed to you to keep you cleaning white folks' floors. It's just in the office building now. You still a maid.
That's true.
I agree. I wasn't taught to go to college to find a husband. I was taught to go to college so you don't need a man. So you can take care of your own. And even if you marry, make sure that you know that if something were to happen, because it was always, if something were to happen, you got your own.
The color purple bullshit. If all of a sudden you come home and Mr. decide to whoop your ass, that degree gonna save you. Bullshit. I had a 20-year-old black woman on my channel on Monday night. Beautiful young sister. Said, I would love to be married. I want to be married. Want to be married, want to have kids, such and so forth. Her mother, go on, watch it right now. Her mother said, have you sat down and talked to your mother? Rather, because her father passed on. Yeah, my mother told me don't worry about no man. My mother told me to go to school, go to law school, get your law degree, and go have some kids and do your own thing. So her mother is recommending to her daughter to bypass the man, get the degree and the babies. Her aunts are doing the same thing. So when I hear all this talk about misogyny, hatred of men, I'm going to say this is starting to be misandry, the hatred of hatred of women, misogyny. I see too many black women who are misandrous. It is hard for you to even, it's hard for many black women to even understand that you are ours. The original question, what's a woman's purpose on the planet? That's when the beatboxing starts. Your purpose is us. Without us, you die. And every other group of women seems to understand their purpose is us. But in America, in the West, black women seem to think a fucking degree is going to change the evolution of this planet. That's why these dystopian movies and dystopian series like The Walking Dead, Book of Eli, are so watched today because it takes people back to what's important. That's why coronavirus was a global reset. And you know who was paying more attention? I didn't blow up for no reason, because coronavirus was the first time black women ever had to sit their ass down in the house, look to the right, look to the left, look to the front, look to the back, and realize they ain't got nothing except degrees in debt. I'm in Atlanta and I'm in the mall and the grocery store and I'm seeing black women for something I've never seen in black women's eyes, fear. Because they're coming out there having to compete against the men, Rilla. Like you said, they don't understand the pressure. When they ain't but one bottle of water on the shelves, 1, 2, 3, 4 men, you got no chance, Kay. If there's 1, 2, 3, 4 men here and you and that bottle of water, you got no chance. We're going to decide who get the bottle of water. That's the point, because it becomes survival. A lioness in the Serengeti is a bad mamma jamma when it's compared to a gazelle, an antelope, even a wildebeest. But put up next to a pack of hyenas. She can get punked, but you know what happens? All she hears is that roar across the plain. And then everybody else start realizing, oh, get the fuck out of here. Here you come. Because there ain't nothing more powerful than you used to could tell somebody, wait till your daddy get home. Nobody fear mama. And we've told women that they're so powerful in these degrees. Who are you powerful for? What's the woman's name in Atlanta who didn't win the governorship, but Stacey Abrams? They pat her on the back. She gave Joe Biden the presidency. Stacey gonna die alone. What'd Stacey get? So many of our women get nothing except making other people successful because they've turned you against your primary role, us. So don't no men that I know want no dumb woman. I only deal with women who are educated, but it's not education instead of, it's education to see how I can get on your platform, your page, to whether it's the office building or it's in a truck. How can we build something? How can we use what we got together? It's not competition, it's cooperation. And see, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna run. Until our women stop this hedging, I don't want to step on a woman's toes and such. Step on her fucking neck if you have to get her back in line. I don't care about her toes when your neck is on the line. I don't care about your feelings when we are dying. We are losing out here. Boys are at the bottom, girls are at the bottom because we can't get on the same page with one another. You got men to fucking day coming out against Monique for telling women to start wearing bonnets on their head. You got black men out here attacking Monique with bonnets on their head. What the fuck are we? We are upside down. And the only way we're going to end up getting back out is understand there is an order. Whether you're religious, I get it. I do understand. You may not have to be Christian. A lot of hypocrisy in Christianity. I accept the hypocrisy in it. Hypocrisy in every religion. Double standards, all kind of things. but it's just a baseline. We look crazy out here in these streets because we have no order. And the only way we get order is we start acknowledging that we are better together than separate. And black men are not telling women not to go to college, to not get an education. We're just saying don't go to college and make your education your husband. That's how we're ultimately saying.
Kevin, do you think we're too far gone?
No. Black people are the most resilient folks on the planet.
I don't think so either.
We're not too far gone because if we are, these shows would not exist. They're getting more of these shows. People are starting to respond to the internet now. We know that there's a problem.
Hey, Kay, before you go, Kay, did you understand what he was saying? Does it make any sense?
Yeah, I definitely think it should be education and family. I never said anything against that. I just said that you know, you want to do well in college, you need to focus on it while you're there. That's the point. You're paying all this money to go somewhere. You need to do well. That needs to be your focus while you're there. Of course, you can meet your husband in college. I know people who've met their husbands in college or shortly after or whatever. I know people have met their husbands in high school. I mean, but I just don't think that it's fair to say that every single woman is doing the exact same thing. And I'm going to say that it's education and husband, education and family for me. I mean, that's what
takes
my
priority? What takes priority? What takes priority?
Well, I'm out of school, so my man, I met him after college, so.
Okay, so someone speaking to someone young, because you're in your 30s. So someone in their 20s that's in college, what would you tell them? What should take priority?
I would say, you know, do what you need to do, and the man who's supposed to find you will. I mean, and if they don't, then
that's what I was going to get to.
What am I supposed to tell them? Go out and hunt. This is the thing.
That's exactly what we get to. It is non-committal. It's do what you need to do. And then put the responsibility on the man. That is where you are failing young women, because you know that you need to tell them, put your degree on the back burner if you got to choose between your man and a degree, because that's what every other group of women on this planet does.
So what if you don't have, like, let's say you're 21 or whatever in college, and you don't have a man, you don't have, you know, you're just in college. What should you be doing right there? Okay,
so, and when we do this, I could easily say, and what if you're 21 years old and you got a man that's going to law school and you're going to school for communications? What I'm saying is we can always take the extremes. The worst case is what black women doing. Is it working?
No, I was asking.
I know what you're asking. It's a disingenuous, bad faith question.
No, it's not. I'm asking because when I answered, everybody was like, oh man. So I'm just trying to find the right answer. What would you say if a woman was in college and she was single? What would you tell her to do, like, specifically?
Well, first of all, I would ask you why you're in college, because college used to only be for the top 10% of people. Most folks didn't go to college. Why are you there? Why? Why is she there?
Mm-hmm.
I need to know that before I can answer another question. Why is she there?
Oh, let's say she's she's trying to be a doctor. Let's say that. I don't know. Whatever. Okay. She's trying to get some career. Okay. Professional career.
A medical doctor?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's less than 6% of women.
Let's just say.
Let's get into the larger. Most women are in what? Humanities and business.
Right. Women go to college because they're told to go to college. Usually people go to college because they don't have a career path. Women don't have a career path like that. We go to college because we're told to.
Yep. So if I were talking to the majority of women who are in college, who are going to random state school, taking out some sort of student loan, I'd ask, what do you plan on doing for a profession with this degree? And I'd make her answer me. Because most women don't even know that. And I'd say, well, with whatever degree path you're on, what is the entry-level starting salary and what's the 20-year projection? And I'd make her go find those answers. And then when she comes back with her tail between her legs, realizing that at best I'm going to be making is $45,000 to $50,000 after all this debt and all this other stuff, then they start realizing I can't live like this, and I need to focus on finding somebody to be with, to partner with through life, because my college degree ain't gonna get me to this promised land of BMW and mansion and dog. That's the point. Most women know when they go to college, if they're not going for science, engineering, technology, math, law, medicine, or something like that, where it's a high 5-figure, 6-figure career, you cannot get through life with one income. So you need a man, or barring that, compound living with your girlfriend, but you're gonna need 2 incomes.
Hey, Kevin, before you get out of here, I'm sorry. Before you get out of here, I know you've been talking a lot about the 10%, and that's something that I'm really starting to focus on. And I'm almost surprised you haven't, segued to the talented 10. But where is the 10% at, and how do we move on to the actionable items?
You mean the talented 10th is a loaded term because of where it comes from.
I know.
And you're asking me where are they at?
The 10% that you talk about, because you say we only need 10% to move the needle.
The 10% has not shown itself yet, but they are not in the existing power structure. Look at I'm not going to get overly political, but look at Black people. Black women vote Democratic at a 96% rate. You need to get some of that out of the Democratic Party automatically. We need to start voting at an independent level. See, it's yet to show itself. And that's why online media and new media is so important, because this is where the new voices are coming from, because the existing power structure is not giving us the outcome. No one has to take us seriously. We could not even have a discussion about reparations, but the LGBT community came through and got stuff. The Tea Party came through and got stuff. Hell, Chinese people got hate crimes legislation, and come on, man. Other minority groups have done this all the time, but until we start getting some economic power and turning into growing our own politicians, and this all starts with a community. You cannot do it with a bunch of singles. And the last part, you ladies need to understand something, that if men in the bottom 70% of earners really start believing that most women are only wanting to deal with the top 10% of men, that's when society falls apart, because single men with no sexual access, no opportunity to have legacy, know they got one life and then they're going to die. They are no longer incented to do anything for a society greater than just their survival. That is what starts the tipping point for all societal destruction. Look in our community. You go back 60, 70, 80 years ago, the Black side of town didn't look like it does today. When they're not attached, when there's no hope. So the only way to give the best thing to give men incentive is to actually start getting women starting to realize that men are not your enemy. You need that, and getting women in the middle, and the bulk, the majority of women, to start realizing that nothing out here is more important than your charge on this life. Like Courtney was saying, a lot of our sisters even have a hard time saying a woman's goal on this planet is to be a mother. We go to the well, what if a woman can't? That's the infinitesimally small percentage. But that's where we're willing to go to not hold women accountable.